Namaste friends, my name is Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar. I am convener United Consciousness. United Consciousness is a global organization promoted by Project Self Incorporation USA and Bharat. Dear friends, some time back, one news shook the world. In the war zone of Syria, a 3-year-old child, badly wounded, was admitted to the hospital. Doctors could not save him, but before his death, that child looked at the doctor and said, "I am going to tell everything to the God." And the world really stood still. Every new child is a message of divine to us that the Creator is still not upset with us. But the mindset of division leads to struggles and leads to wars. The time has come that we should see oneness beyond these divisions, because we are already one in our worries for our kids. We are one and similar in our concerns for our family. We are one in our pursuit of happiness. We are one in our quest of peace. We are one in our struggle of avoiding pain. We are one in our concern for future. We are one in our consciousness. So dear friends, united consciousness is not the way, it is the way to save humanity today. It is a way for a new world order. It is a way where united consciousness envisage a new world where education will bring forth the best in everybody. It will liberate people, where the focus of education will be life, not only livelihood. Where in schools, kids will be taught that happiness and peace is the dashboard of life. Where the language of superlatives and comparatives will not be used often. Where economics will talk more about gross domestic happiness rather than gross domestic product. Where war will be taught only in the books of history. Where stress and tension will remain only in the books of physics, not in humanity. Where depression will go back to find its place in the books of economics, not in human psychology. Where nations will be the units of economic development, social and ethnic upliftment, but not the boundaries of human freedom and human expression. Where we share this planet with other species, where we, instead of talking only on democracy, we will be talking on ecocracy, where we will incorporate all the plants, nature, animals, and give them their righteous place, their appropriate place in this planet, where even they are applauded and respected as a being on this planet. So dear friends, the time has come to choose, and there are two choices. One choice is united consciousness, and another is divisive catastrophe. Because we make choices, and finally choices make us. So let's choose wisely. Let's choose love. Let's choose togetherness. Let's choose united consciousness. In order to choose united consciousness and celebrate it, we are organizing on 11th, 12th, 18th and 19th of December a global spiritual fiesta, United Consciousness Conclave 2021. So let's together explore united consciousness with amazing speeches and panel discussion. Experience united consciousness through meditation and yoga, and express united consciousness through dance and music. Around 100 countries will be participating in some or the other delegates or representatives of around 100 countries will be there as spectators or participants in this global program. I welcome all of you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this beautiful journey of united consciousness. I would also like to thank Indian Council of Cultural Relationships to promote this event, to support this event world over. Thank you very much.
I'm very honored and delighted to welcome our performance from the organization Play for Change. Play for Change is not only the organization, but it is a movement created to inspire and connect the world through music and break the boundaries. They reimagine a world connected by music to spread a global message of hope and unity. Playing for Change was born in 2002 as a shared vision between co-founder Mark Johnson and Whitney Kroenke. This musical journey resulted in the award-winning documentary, a cinematic discovery of street music. Today they are playing Sachita song. In the group we have Adrian Bruno from Argentina, Afro Reggae Choi from Brazil, Afro Reggae Drum Group from Brazil, Binho from Brazil, Sensona de Esses from Brazil, Courtney Bam Dedrick from Jamaica, Enzo Bruno from Argentina, Elo Ferreira from Cape Verde, Luis Conte from Cuba, Martino da Cuca from Brazil, Neol Cyrus from Argentina, Pritinho da Serriha from Brazil, Dr. Janardhan Mitta from India, R. Shruti from India, Ronaldo Popo from Brazil, Rigoberto from Cuba, Sindhavi from India, Sandra Disa from Brazil, Walters from Brazil, and Nino Josel from Spain.
Deus, que os homens encontrem os seus passos perdidos e que os sonhos despertem esses olhos dormidos, que o amor transborde e vivamos em paz. Que os dias terminem com os braços cansados e que a sorte só queira estar ao teu lado. Que a dor não me assombre, nem me cause desvelo. Peça a Deus. Satitaranda para Brahma, Purushottama para Matma, Shri Bhagavati Sameda, Shri Bhagavate Namaha.
Peça a Deus que nos mande do céu muita sabedoria, um amor verdadeiro, que ninguém passe fome, um abraço de irmão, que vivamos em paz. Ei, que terminem as guerras e também a pobreza, encontrar alegrias entre tanta tristeza, que a luz ilumine as almas perdidas e um futuro melhor. Satitaranda para Brahma, Purushottama para Matma, Shri Bhagavati Sameda, Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Sameda.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Play for Change musical group for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and giving such a wonderful performances. Thank you so. I believe in the beautiful message from Buddha that thousands of candles can be lighted from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Our next guest is the one who gave directions and enlightened many souls. I feel highly honored and privileged to welcome Swami Sarvapriyanandaji, whose gracious presence will inspire and enlighten us today. Swamiji belonged to Ramakrishna order. He has been minister and spiritual leader of the Vedanta Society of New York since 2017. He has given talks on Vedanta all over the world. His deep knowledge in Vedanta has illuminated many lives. Prior to his appointment in New York, he served as assistant minister of the Vedanta Society of Southern California. Swamiji joined the Ramakrishna Mission in 1994 and received sannyas in 2004. Before being posted to the VSSC's Hollywood Temple, Swamiji served as an acharya of the Monastic Probationers Training Center at Belor Math. Undoubtedly, he is the role model for his commitments and immense patience and responsibilities to scale greater heights. We are very fortunate to have him here on this occasion. So please welcome Swami Sarvapriyanandaji.
Namaste. Let me start with a chant. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Sri Ramakrishna was fond of telling this little parable. It seems that there was this washerman, and a typical Indian washerman in the past, long before washing machines. You have to imagine this washerman, he takes these clothes to the river bed and then spends all day in cleaning them. They usually use a rock to scrub the clothes. This washerman had a special rock. He had found it somewhere. It was actually a diamond, but he didn't know that. He thought it's a strange kind of rock, but he used it for scrubbing clothes. One day, he went to his friend, the vegetable seller, and said, I have this special rock. I don't know what it is, but it might be valuable. I can sell it to you for 10 rupees. And the vegetable seller actually offered him 10 rupees for that rock. But luckily, that man thought, let me ask my some other friend who knows a little more than this. And he went to that other friend who said, no, this seems valuable. And he said, I'll offer you 100 rupees. Finally, this washerman took this rock, which was actually a diamond, to a diamond merchant. And the diamond merchant recognized this, and he said, what a remarkable diamond. I have never seen such a magnificent diamond in my life. I'll give you, $1,000,000 rupees for this. And so the washerman became a rich person. All his wants were removed once he recognized the rock for what it was, a diamond. Similarly, in our lives, we have this diamond. We do not recognize what it is. We have it, we know where it is, we are using it all the time, but we are using it just like the washerman used it for scrubbing clothes. We are using this thing for our daily life. We are using it for talking, walking, we are using it for thinking, remembering, loving, hating, for desiring, fighting wars, being unhappy. All of that is made possible by this one thing which we all have all the time, that is consciousness. So that is the theme of this great conference which has been organized. I must congratulate the organizers for this. This conference about consciousness is basically about this rock which the washerman used for scrubbing clothes, but discovered it was a diamond and all his wants were removed. He was happy forever. Similarly, if we understand and appreciate consciousness for what it is, it can solve all our problems at a deep existential level. We will be taken beyond sorrow. We will attain to deep fulfillment. In the time which we have, let us see how. Let us investigate this thing. Let us look at this rock carefully and try to see that it is actually a diamond, recognize that it is a diamond. Let us look at consciousness and recognize it to be the utterly amazing um, entity, the reality that it is. First of all, let us all notice we are all conscious. Right now, when I am talking, I am conscious, and you're listening, you are conscious. When we see and hear and smell and taste and touch, we are conscious. What we see and hear and taste and touch, those things come and go, but consciousness is common to all of it. When we think, ideas come to us, we are conscious. When we feel, you feel happy, you feel maybe unhappy, you feel excited or bored, all of that, all of those widely different experiences of feelings, underneath it all, consciousness must be there. Without consciousness, feelings are not possible. Without consciousness, thoughts are not possible. Without consciousness, perceptions are not possible. Whether we are awake right now, we are conscious. And in dreams, that's also consciousness, because we are aware of what is going on in the dreams. And even in deep sleep, even the experience of the complete absence, which is deep sleep, that's also an experience. And that requires consciousness. In some sense, we must be conscious even when we are experiencing deep sleep. So consciousness is a constant. All our life is based on consciousness. And we are not talking about some esoteric theory, some speculation. We're talking about what is the most fundamental, the first fact of our lives, that we are conscious. We are conscious, and only then we are conscious of something else. Everything that we know in life, everything that we desire or hate in life, everything that we want or do not want in life, all of those are objects to consciousness. In fact, our lives, which are is nothing but a series of experiences, and all of these experiences are possible because consciousness shines upon some object. The objects are many, consciousness is one. The objects are continuously changing, consciousness is steady. Consciousness does not come and go. The objects are not you, they are presented to you. You are consciousness. So this is the central idea of Vedanta, especially of Advaita Vedanta. An eminent philosopher, Professor Arindam Chakravarti, he put it humorously but profoundly. What is an object? An object is something that objects to consciousness. Now, this is a funny but very profound way of putting it. You see, everything that we experience, see, hear, smell, taste, touch, these are all objects of our consciousness. Now, these objects were not there, if there's only unlimited consciousness and nothing for you to be conscious of, that you are conscious also would not be evident. You would be conscious, but it would not be evident that there is consciousness. It's only when consciousness runs up against an object that you see something, hear something, taste or touch something. So in that sense, those objects are actually offering a kind of resistance to consciousness, and therefore they are illumined by consciousness. So consciousness plus object is equal to experience. And experience is our lives. Whatever we experience, good and bad, that is our life. The one takeaway we take from this analysis is consciousness is constant. Consciousness is our real nature. What do I mean by that? If I think, what am I? Our first instinct is to say, I am this body. But notice, this body is an object because I'm aware of this body. Just as this book is an object, I'm aware of this book, I'm awareness, and the book is an object presented to my awareness. I can see it, I can touch it, I can read it, and so on. Similarly, this body is an object presented to me, the awareness, the consciousness. I'm using awareness, consciousness interchangeably. The body is something that I can see. I can touch it. I can even smell it. I can taste it, or I can even hear it. My tummy is rumbling in hunger. I can hear the body. So the body is an object to all my senses. All the senses reveal the body. I'm aware of the body. If I'm aware of the body, then body is an object. I am not the body. Well, we might say, well, yeah, I'm not exactly the body, but I am a mind in this body, embodied. I'm a person. But the person, the mind, with its thoughts and feelings, with its unique knowledge, its personal story of who or what we are, that mind, that personality, that's also an object. This is a startling discovery. We never think about it that way. I think I am the mind, my thoughts, my feelings. But the moment I'm aware of the thoughts, if I introspect, I'm aware of the thoughts, I'm aware of the feelings, I'm aware of my ideas, I'm aware of my own happiness and misery. If there is a feeling of sorrow, I'm aware I'm unhappy. If there's a feeling of delight, I'm aware that I'm happy. So if I'm aware of the contents of my mind, if I'm aware of the thoughts and feelings, the memories, if I remember something, I'm aware of that. If I fail to remember something, my memory does not work, I'm aware of that too. So the mind, with its varied functions, perception, thoughts, emotions, and so on, memories, all of those are objects, and they are objects to consciousness. If they are objects to consciousness, they are not very different from the book or this piece of cloth. As I don't say I am the book, I see the book, but I am not the book. I see the cloth, I touch the cloth, but I am not the cloth. Similarly, thoughts, emotions, memories, they are objects, subtle objects. They are not like a book or a cloth, but they're still objects in the sense that they are presented to consciousness. Or in Professor Chakravarti's terminology, they object to consciousness. They offer a resistance to consciousness. They're illumined by consciousness. Even the thoughts and feelings and emotions, which I consider such vital parts of my identity, they are not me. They are not part of my identity. I am awareness, aware of thoughts and feelings. As I am not the cloth, this cloth, I am not even the shirt which I'm wearing underneath this cloth, or the undershirt which I'm wearing underneath the shirt. Similarly, I am not the body, I'm not the prana, I'm not even the mind or the buddhi. All of these layers, they are all objects. And my nature is consciousness. Right now, right here. What does that do? What's the point of it? Look at the nature of consciousness. One, that it is constant. All the objects are changing. Consciousness is constant. So, if consciousness is constant, then it is not subject to change. If it does not change, then it cannot age. Age is something that happens to the body. It cannot be subject to disease. COVID is something that happens to the body. But consciousness, it is presented to consciousness. Consciousness is aware of it. It is illumined by consciousness. The body, its aging, its disease, illumined by consciousness. One teacher of Vedanta back in India, in Hindi, put it very nicely. In Vedanta, what you have to do is, jo cheez jahan ka hai, wahi rakho. Put everything in its own place. Don't misplace things. So, old age, disease, it belongs to the body. Don't misplace it and put it on yourself. I am old. No, you're aware of the aging of the body. I am sick. No, you're aware of the sickness in the body. You're aware of sickness in the body. You're aware of the health of the body. Hunger. I'm hungry. No, hunger is a function of the prana. You're aware of the hunger generated by the prana. Energy and tiredness. It's not that consciousness is tired or consciousness is energetic. It's aware of the flow of the energies in the prana. Miserable. I am so miserable. No. You are aware of the thoughts of misery, the feelings of misery arising in the mind, floating around in the mind, and disappearing again. You, the awareness, are constant. Consciousness does not get old. Consciousness does not get tired or hungry. Consciousness does not get miserable, sad, frustrated. No. It illumines all these things, which appears, plays around, and disappears. As consciousness, You are free of old age. You're free of disease. You're free of death. Consciousness is immortal. Death is something that happens to the body. Even to experience death, one must be conscious. Without consciousness, how can even death be an experience? Consciousness does not get miserable or sorrowful. Those are properties, those are activities of the mind. Consciousness is therefore, by its own nature, free of suffering. It's only when we identify with the body mind that we become subject to suffering. Look at this little more closely. Pleasure or suffering, both are due to consciousness only. Without consciousness, there would be no experience of pain. Without consciousness, there would be no experience of pleasure. But consciousness in itself is not something that is in pain or in pleasure. The old age, disease, death of the body, all of those are experienced because of consciousness. Without consciousness, no experience would be possible. Even the experience of old age, disease, death would not be possible. The experience of happiness and prosperity and doing well, that also would not be possible. All experiences, good and bad, are possible because of the presence of consciousness. See, whatever is in this room is illumined because of the presence of light. Without the light, none of this would be illumined. But the light itself is not affected by anything in this room. If there's a piece of dirt, the light doesn't become dirty. If there's a pure Ganga water in this room, the light does not become purified by illumining the Ganga water. Light just illumines everything. Similarly, consciousness illumines everything, it reveals everything, gives us the experience of life, but is not itself affected by any of these things. However, consciousness is not obvious. This is a great thing to understand. Just like the man thought, the washerman thought it's a rock and used it for his daily uses for washing the clothes. Similarly, we think, yes, consciousness is nothing particularly great. A scholar, philosopher and theologian, actually said, I heard him say, these Advaitins make too much of consciousness. Yes, his consciousness is important, but they make too much of consciousness. No, it is only when we take consciousness in its daily mundane aspect. I'm seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, enjoying, suffering, thinking, remembering, forgetting. That's all. That is consciousness. These are all possible because of consciousness, but they are not consciousness in themselves. It is just like the washerman unable to appreciate the value of the rock. He thinks it's a rock. It's a peculiar rock, but it's just a rock. He doesn't know it's a diamond, that it can solve all the problems of his life. So consciousness is not unknown to us. We are all the time aware of being aware. We are aware that we are conscious, but we do not appreciate it for what it is. We do not recognize it for its in its infinite nature. It's difficult to point out. You see, it's like the little fish who was of course, in water, and the little fish asked his teacher fish, "Sir, what is this water you are all talking about? You're saying the water is above, below, in front, behind, everywhere, but where is water?" So the fish has always been in water all his little life, but because water is omnipresent all around him, therefore it's difficult to discern what it is. And only when two things can be distinguished from each other, then you can aware of both things. But if something is there all the time and everywhere, then it's difficult to point it out or recognize it. Similarly, all our life, everything in our life, ultimately consciousness has always been there. It is the most important thing. Christoph Koch, who is the chief scientist of the Paul Allen Brain Institute, a couple of years back, last year in fact, in a book talk, he said that I'm convinced consciousness is the most important thing in our lives. It's not like any other thing, a hand or a leg or a power of digestion, or even the faculties of thinking, remembering. All of these things are important, but we still exist without them. Without consciousness, we would be nothing. There would be zero, blank completely. There would be no life, no experience, nothing. We would be totally non-existent. And the objects, there's a question of whether the universe exists apart from consciousness or not. That's a different question. That's the whole question of realism and idealism. But actually, it's not an important question. The fact is that nothing is experienced without consciousness, whether it exists outside the body mind or inside the mind. That is a secondary question, a philosophical question. So consciousness is ever present, but because it's always in the background and because it's ever present, it's difficult to recognize. We are very aware of objects, aware of the world, and we investigate it. We science and technology. We're aware of the body. We're even aware of the mind. We have a science of the mind, psychology, and all of that. We do that. But that to which all of this is revealed, that is ignored. It's only in ancient India that the rishis in the Upanishads, they focused on consciousness. They saw the importance of being aware of awareness. Evan Thompson, in his books, Waking, Dreaming, Being, he says this consciousness studies is not a modern thing. Right now, 21st century, we are all, it's all, consciousness studies is a hot subject. But he says it's not a modern thing. 5,000 years ago in the Upanishads, the rishis were investigating consciousness. Consciousness studies actually began at that time. He says the study of consciousness is so important in human history that the Upanishads, which were the first texts to study consciousness and discover its incredible nature, its infinite nature. Evan Thompson, he says in this book that the Upanishads are so important in human history that we should date history not by AD and BC, but we should date history by before Upanishad and after Upanishad. These texts are so important to us and our civilization. So this consciousness question arises, so I am consciousness, and there are so many other people here, millions of people. Are they all different consciousnesses, plural? Does consciousness have a plural, or is there one consciousness? In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. He answers this question, many consciousnesses or one consciousness? And Krishna answers firmly, one consciousness. To Arjuna, he says, O Arjuna, in all these fields, bodies he calls them fields, in all these fields, I alone am the knower of the field. I, Krishna identifies himself with pure consciousness. I, the one consciousness, is the knower of all minds and bodies. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. I am undivided on all beings, in 7 billion human beings and billions of other living creatures. I am the one consciousness in all living beings. And it's not that living beings' bodies are different, minds are different. There's no doubt about it. But the consciousness which illumines the mind and the body, is this consciousness different, numerically different from body to body, mind to mind? No, it is one consciousness. That might sound counterintuitive, but it's not very difficult to argue out. I will not go into the details, but this is the point of debate between Sankhya philosophy and Advaita philosophy. Sankhya says many consciousnesses. Advaita says, how do you distinguish one consciousness from another? Think about this question. How do you distinguish one body from another? Easy, you can see the difference. You can count them. How do you distinguish one mind from another? Give them a questionnaire, ask for their opinions. You will see so many opinions, so many different ideas, so much variety. Clearly, there are different minds. But how will you distinguish consciousness from consciousness without reference to the difference of body-mind? You will see there's no way of distinguishing. Consciousness is singular. It is always first person and always directly experienced, always shining forth, free of the problems of the body, free of the problems of the mind, and one. So we are all united in this one consciousness. That is the meaning of this united consciousness. I wish you all the best and pray for the success of the conference. You have a very rich set of panelists and speakers coming up who will talk about this theme in detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, respected Swamiji. Swamiji, one question that has come from India, if you permit, may I ask you? After death, how do we remain conscious?
First of all, question is there consciousness after death? We, the moment we hear consciousness is immortal and it's death is of the body only, we immediately feel no, but without body there cannot be consciousness. But let's just stop and think, why are we saying this? Why are we saying it? What right do we have to say this? Why we are saying this is implicit kind of feeling, unexamined feeling in our minds that somehow the body is generating consciousness. Question is, are we bodies with consciousness or consciousness with a body? Am I a body and somehow it is conscious? Or am I consciousness using a body? Now, the way to distinguish, the way to answer this would be that if you could prove how the brain generates consciousness, does the brain at all generate consciousness? Then the answer would be clear. If the brain is generating consciousness, if consciousness is a process in our neurons, if it's a product of the processes in our neurons, then it's done. Materialism is true in that case. But is it possible to demonstrate that? Amazingly, right now we are living in a very interesting time when scientists, neuroscientists, philosophers, AI people, they're all struggling with this question: what is the relationship between consciousness and brain? Can we reduce consciousness to the brain? It seems to be enormously difficult to do so. It's continuously people are trying. There are a variety of theories of trying to explain consciousness with the help of every other week. You will see one new article comes out. Consciousness explained. Somebody joked, all these articles have one thing in common: consciousness explained away. That somehow, at some point, there is a miraculous jump from consciousness to matter. Impossible. That is the recognition that Professor David Chalmers here in the New York University mind brain consciousness unit, he says, he calls it the hard problem of consciousness. You cannot reduce consciousness to the brain. In principle, no matter how many theories you come up with, it's not working. If that is so, if consciousness cannot be reduced to the brain, then what right do you have to say consciousness dies with the death of the brain? Consciousness is not being produced by the brain. See, my consciousness is not being produced by this phone. I know nobody will think that. So the phone is destroyed. Will I be destroyed? I, the consciousness? Of course not. If an object is destroyed, will the consciousness be destroyed? If an object is destroyed here, will the light which is illumining the object be destroyed? No. So consciousness goes on irrespective of whether the body mind is existing or functioning. Will we have this empirical consciousness ability to see, hear, smell, taste, touch without the body? That is a different question. Consciousness requires a vehicle for that. And these vehicles are actually produced by consciousness. See, Vedanta is interesting. It does not say consciousness is produced by the body. It says body, matter, mind, all of these are appearances in consciousness. They're presented to consciousness, in consciousness, and nothing but consciousness.
Thank you, Swamiji. Rajesh.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. One question from USA. The question is, once a person established in his true identity, is he going to be completely indifferent to the empirical world, like the smile of a child or the issues of the world?
Absolutely not. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you see people whom you would consider to be enlightened, you take Ramana Maharshi or Sri Ramakrishna or Vivekananda, no, they lived a much better life than the rest of us. It's just like once you appreciate the nature of consciousness, just like that washerman who understood the rock was a diamond, and the diamond was so valuable that it solved all his problems. All his poverty was removed. So enlightened people are like that. That consciousness which we possess, all of us, exactly the same thing they have. We are all that same consciousness. But that means in their mind, they have recognized what it is, and therefore their lives are much fuller. They're completely free of fear, first of all. They are full of love. Why full of love? Because consciousness is one. They are one. They feel that oneness with everybody, and you will feel the oneness if you go close to such people. From that love stems all service, doing good to others, compassion for others. So their lives, as long as the limited body exists, we call them Jivan Mukta, liberated while living. They are the most wonderful of human beings. They are not indifferent to us. They are, in fact, they are more alive than us. The Buddha said, I am the awakened, which means we are all half asleep or sleepwalking or dreaming. So to be truly awake, to be truly alive, to be truly happy, and to be truly of use to others. This appreciation of our nature as consciousness is central.
Such a great point. Thank you very much, Swamiji. Once again, thank you very much. It's always
Thank you,
inspiring
Swamiji.
to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for blessing us. Thank you, Swamiji.
Avneet Baid, a healthcare IT leader, is an acknowledged yoga trainer. She is one of the founder and director of non-profit organization Project Self. She is a certified yoga instructor from the Ujjain Yoga Life Society, having completed a comprehensive ROIT 500 yoga teachers training under Pandit Radhesham Mishra's guidance. Deeply touched by the profoundness, depth and validity of the yogic traditions, Avneet is committed to bringing these teachings into the lives of as many people as possible. With this goal in mind, she conducts various programs focused on delivering the benefits of classical yoga. Welcome, Avneet ji.
Good morning, everyone from the East Coast. I know there are a lot of participants from around the world. I thank you to be here, and I want to thank United Consciousness for giving me this opportunity to demonstrate the practical session of yoga with you all. When it comes to practical session, it is important to understand what Patanjali gave us the formula for happy mind, for the blissful, joyful mind. In order to attain that stage of mind, there are 8 limbs that he provided us, and asana being the third limb of Patanjali formula. So asana is important in part of yoga, but it does not complete without all the 8 limbs. So today I'm talking about asanas. It's important to understand what these asanas are for and what do they do to our body. It is for making sure that our bodies are healthy by practicing asanas every morning and making it part of your yoga routine. So today when I'm going to demonstrate these asanas, I want you to understand what their purpose is. There are different asanas for different purposes. And the most important one is spine. It is important for us to understand that our body is a temple. We have to take care of it. And for doing that, we need to have a healthy spine. It is a foundation of our body. So in order to keep it healthy, what do? We give it a stretch or a movement that keeps it intact. It doesn't move. When there is a pain in our back, pain in our shoulders, there is a central nervous system that passing through our spine. All these nerves are connected. So if we do not have a healthy spine, we will start experiencing this pain. So in order to do that, the spine is very important, and today I will demonstrate some of those movements, but I want to let you know what these movements are. So we need to perform some asanas for forward bending, some for the backward bending, for sideward bending. Also, we are twisting our spine so it stays intact in the place. So those are some of the spine, and also the inversion. So we take the spine, we turn around, all our blood is flowing now. So these are some of the spinal movement, and I will be demonstrating some of the asanas. Since we have a limited time, I will be only showing you asanas one round, and you can perform if you would like to perform with me. And then there are 2 other type of body parts that needs to be taken care of. One is the digestive system. Some of the asanas are designed to make our digestive system stronger. And I will demonstrate those asanas as well. So when you are performing asanas, keep these things in mind. What these asanas are for. What are they doing to your body? How it is providing what is providing to you. So next is the last is for our mind, right? That's our ultimate goal. There are asanas that are for you to bring focus to your mind. So in totality, you can see it covers everything, all asanas for entire body. And if you, I can promise you, if you just do these 3-4 asanas for 20 minutes every day, you will start experiencing that healthy body and healthy mind. With that in mind, let's get started. Our first and foremost is Sthit Pratanasan, which it is important that before we start our asanas, that we remove all the distractions and come to one place with the focused mind that next few minutes we are going to spend just taking care of our body. Okay, so the first asana is called Sthit Pratanasan. You bring your feet together, keep your body straight, bring your hands together. Sthit means stable. Close your eyes, start observing your body. As soon as you will close your eyes, you will feel the movement. The body starts swaying because your mind is not still. We take this opportunity to just be quiet, focused, undistracted, complete attention to our body and our mind. Every practice should start with some warm-up exercise. There are a few warm-up exercises, but we do not have enough time to go over it. So you can join my Suprabhat Yoga sessions that will start in January. However, for today, we talked about the spine movements. So first asana is called Haspadasana. We bring both our feet together. We take our hands, inhale. We go ahead and bend backwards. So now you're bending your spine backward. You exhale, stretch your spine, come down, and try to touch your feet, making sure your knees are straight. This is the forward bending of spine. And try to go ahead and push your head inside. Then you inhale and exhale. So as you can see here, you got the backward bending, you got the forward bending. Next asana is called Kon Asana for sideward bending. Spread your legs as far as possible to give it a proper stretch. Take your right arm straight up. Make sure it doesn't leave your ear, keeping it completely straight. You inhale first. It's important that you breathe properly so that you don't get injured. It's very important to breathe properly. So inhale, exhale, inhaling, start bending. Sideward, not forward. We are doing it for sideward bending, right? Side. Stretch your spine. Exhale, come back. You repeat this on the other side. Take your other arm straight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Start bending on the side. Again, make sure where you're getting the stretch. It's very important. You understand you're getting the stretch. Be conscious. That's what we are talking about. Be conscious of where your body is getting stretched. Inhale. Exhaling, bring your arms down. So you can see we got the stretch on the side. Now also I talked about twisting your spine. So be very careful when you're doing this asana. It's called Vakrasana. Inhaling, we take our hands straight. Exhaling, we bend our right elbow and take your left arm, start moving back. Making sure, just watch me. I'm not moving my hip. I'm just moving my upper spine to give it a twist. And turn your head, staring at your fingertips as far as you can go. It's very important to perform very slowly. Inhale, come back, and exhale, go back on the other side. Again, only your upper back is twisting. Your hips stay in place. You're not doing this. You're just twisting your spine. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, finish your asana. Vakrasana. Standing Vakrasana. So these you can see the different movement of spine. Now for inversion, there is Shirshasana, which we are not going to perform today, but there is a variation, a little variation can be performed by anybody. So we will sit down, and the asana is called Yoga Mudra. You can sit in Padmasana or you can sit in Sukhasana, making sure your spine is straight. You take your arms and you hold it from your wrist in the back. It's just to give a correct movement. And then you inhale and you exhaling, you go down and take your head and place it on the floor as far as you can go comfortably. You hold this asana, inhale, come back. So as you can see, as your head is going down, it's the inversion. This is the asana for spines. Next asana I will demonstrate is Paschimottanasana. There are a lot of theories. People say the yogis used to sit in this asanas and they will never used to have any digestive problems. But this should be practiced very carefully and correctly. Any asanas you're performing, it is important that you do it correctly or it can hurt you, and it has to be performed very slowly with proper breathing technique. In this Paschimottanasana, just observe, keeping the spine straight. You will inhale, take your arms back. Exhaling, slowly go ahead and try to touch your toe if possible. But the important part is your elbow should be down and your head should be all the way down if possible. Inhale, come back. Again, this is for your digestive system. So when you're compressing your stomach, all the blood flow is going into your abdomen, which is giving you a better and healthier digestive system. This should be performed daily, and if you will, I guarantee you, if you do perform every day, 20 minutes, these asanas, you definitely will see the difference. Next asana I'm going to demonstrate is for our focus mind. So in order to do that, first thing is you have to find an object right in front of you and keep your focus. Then you go ahead and take your arms straight up. It's called Santulan Asana. Then go ahead and lift your right leg. Try to balance yourself. Keep your focus. Your eyes should be focused on that object that you pick. Inhale. Exhale. And this you can also practice on the other side. So those are some of the asanas I hope will help you to integrate in your daily life. And probably if you practice every day, next year when I'll meet you guys, you will tell me all the good stories that really improved your health. So as I said, asana is not the only yoga that people know. Asana is the third limb of Patanjali Yoga, and it should be practiced to get to our ultimate goal of having a joyful, blissful mind. So that's all I have for you, everyone, today. Hope you enjoyed the session. And if you want to learn more, you can definitely contact Project Self or United Consciousness to get more information on our Suprabhat yoga classes that will be starting in January, and the time will be announced later in the year. Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Avneet for sharing your views and thoughts on this International Day of Yoga. Thanks once again.
It's my pleasure to invite our next guest from Buenos Aires, Dr. Fabian J. Carlotti. He was graduated in Bachelor's of Kinesiology in 1984 and It's my pleasure to invite our next guest from Buenos Aires, Dr. Fabian J. Carlotti. He was graduated in Bachelor's of Kinesiology in 1984 and he is a physician from the University of Buenos Aires. He is specialized in orthopedic surgery. He visited India many times and specialized in Ayurvedic medicine from many universities such as Jamnagar, Kerala, Pune, Haridwar, Dev Sanskriti, PDI Raivela, etc. He has authored books in philosophy and medicine. He is a university professor at the University of Buenos Aires and Maimonides University. He is the director of the postgraduate courses of Ayurvedic medicine and yoga at the Escuela Espacio from director of Biorecodification Ayurveda Therapy. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Fabian J. Carlotti.
As I said, I've been teaching Ayurveda and yoga for the last 20 years. So the topic that came to me today is the jealousy. So let's speak about jealousy, because in the history of humanity, love and jealousy have been closely linked, closely related, because love is in a state of alert toward its partner. It's in a state of taking care from his partners. That's why jealousy, a drop of jealousy are there. But the fact is, when you think, or somebody thinks that it is property, our property, that is when jealousy take over my being. Because jealousy hides another emotion. Jealousy is a secondary emotion. Behind jealousy, we find fear, sadness, distrust, insecurity, worry, anxiety, devaluation, and envy, and continue. Fear because I don't want to lose my property, or I don't want to be alone, or I don't want fear of abandonment. And then appears anger to mark territory and the other's emotions. Emotions, energy in movement. Jealousy produces several reactions. In turn, this reaction generates many emotions, which will generate until the end, infinity. So the fact is, jealousy speaks of insecurity. Insecurity projected to another people, lack of confidence. The jealous person is constantly alert, is in a state of permanent control, is in a state of distrust of his partner. So it is really difficult to have a relationship in that way. But who is the jealousy? Now let's talk about karma pariksha, because everything that happened in previous generation affect subsequent generations. Today verified by epigenetic distance. So from the point of view of karma pariksha, the study or analysis of karma, jealousy could be linked to my own history or my family tree. My mother during pregnancy or before saw my father with another person, feels abandoned or whatever. A traumatic experience can change our being. The death of a loved one, a beating or abuse when we're kids, a divorce from our parents in a violent way, a shame episode in public, a traumatic episode in school, whatever. Just when this experience is enough to condition the behavior of the person for the rest of their life. It's vasana. Samskara is the impression I cannot digest. Vasana is the tendency of behavior. This is why it's important in diagnosis of the past. This is why it's important to become aware and find the origin where jealousy comes from. It is my history, it is transgenerational, because the awareness of the problem allows me a new perception of myself. As well as seeing, we have an observation program. We have a way of perceiving, and that way of perceiving determines the subsequent action. So we don't look through our eyes, we look through our thought. When we react not according to what is happening now, react to according to what our consciousness is relieving. Because jealousy is also karma. And one sutra now. Karma is born from the mind and create man. Other sutra. The mind is born from the karma and create karma. So mind and karma are brothers. That's why person means mask. Person, persono. Where does the sound come from? Behind the mask, we are an actor. I have one mask as a father, as a partner, as a friend, as a doctor, and probably in each mask I have a problem. Another sutra now. All problems are thought. If I want to change my problem, I have to change the way of thinking of it. That's why Pink Floyd says another sutra. There is someone in my head, but it's not me. This is correct. There is someone in my head, but it's not me. Here is Bata, Pita, Kapha, mother, father, and that's it. We have an observation program, a way of perceive my life. Already, by the fact of being born, we have karma. We are karma. All depends of the observer. Our present live a past future. The mind is the one that is jealousy. So I have to put another pattern of thought. Because if I analyze my mind with the mind, always win the mind. I have to put another pattern of thought to the self-knowledge, self-inquiry. To see me, I have to put another pattern of think, of thought. And this is the buddhi. The intellect is the ideal tool to manage the emotion. Intellect, lecture inside, self-serving, self-knowledge, self-inquiry, make decision, clarify, resolve doubt. That's the intellect. The fire is necessary to digest, and the fire of the body is necessary to digest the emotion also, because food, another sutra, food is everything that came into the sense, not only here. Listening, seeing, who touch us, who are with, or who we are with, that's everything can feed us or undigest. Everything can give us prana or take it off. So the intellect digests the experience, the karma, the emotion. If not, generate toxin, generate ama. And that's ama, that toxin impact in my body, gastritis, tumors, whatever, impact in my brain, samskara make a track in the brain, and now we know that track exists. It's a hammer focus. We can change our anatomy for our thought. We have a lesson anatomy because I cannot digest what emotion. This is amazing. This is samskara. The impression could be one time or repeated the same things. No? So I need another tool of see my jealousy, my anger, my fear, or whatever. This is the buddhi, the intellect. First of all, acceptance, acceptation. The sutra for acceptance is santosha. If it is happening, if it is convenient, that is acceptation. If it is happening, it is convenient. Whatever happened. And detachment of the result of the action. This is property of the intellect. Show us another path of self-knowledge, of self-observation. But it's an exquisite and deep search. That is the intellect. The point is to change the diagnosis. Because if the diagnosis is wrong, everything's going to be wrong. For instance, the gastritis. The diagnosis is wrong. Because the gastritis, you say that the problem is in the stomach. And the problem is here. But your treatment is into the stomach. Milanta, meprazole. The treatment is bad. Because the diagnosis is wrong. So Ayurveda change the our diagnosis. Don't kill the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. Gastritis appears you to change. Gastritis, jealousy, fears, or whatever. Don't kill the messenger. That happened you to change something. That's why we need space. But what happened now? Space is linked with time. That's why it's chitta, our conscience. Not cheat, unlimited. It's chitta because it's limited. Limited by what? But the time in the space and time of conscious, where thought grow, the land is a karma, watered by the motion, and the thought grow there. It's my garden. And as any my garden, I need a gardener because if not, the weeds grow and take a big roots, can alter the ecology. Eco means house. And I have also neighborhood gardeners, which is my partner, my son, my mother, and there are weeds in every garden. But it's easier to see the weeds of the next garden. So first of all, my garden, my mind. As soon as the intellect see the weeds with 2 fingers, take off. Jealousy, whatever. If not, they grows and grows and grows and grows. So, and they take a deep root and can damage the house, damage the brain. No? So, this mind garden needs constant attention, 24 hours, because the mind is dosha. The mind is jealousy. So I need another pattern of thought. This is the intellect, acceptation, detachment of the result of the action, discern what is happening. Because to change our emotion or to change gastritis or to change whatever happened to me, we need 2 pillars, prana and buddhi. Prana, willpower, to see prana, and space generate prana. I need space to see a picture, space with my partner, space with my mother. I need space to see what happened. Also, to myself, I need space and prana to see me, and buddhi, and intellect. Prana and buddhi, there are 2 pillars for the change. Because the prana, the mind is the prana expressing. That's it. The mind is the prana expressing itself. When you say, I am anger, am I happy, that's just the prana. So to handle prana is to manage the mind, the time, the karma, and the space. That's why we call pranosphère. Pranosphère chakra, pranosphère. No atmosphere, pranosphère. Pranosphère chakra, which is 5 avasta chitam, 5 conscious states. This is space, time, prana, mind, and karma. This is pranospheric chakra. Space, times, prana, mind, and karma. That's why somebody usually is late. Is not taken to only time. It's taken to mind and prana and space also. And manage the prana, we can manage the space, the karma, the mind, and all of parts of this pranosphera chakra. I wrote several books about pranosphera chakra and biorecodification, because this is the fact of biorecodification. I am jealousy. Okay, it's my jealousy, my own story, or my family tree. That is the karma pariksha. And then me, Bata, with this emotion, with autumn, with this is Ayurveda. Now, to me, with this emotion, I have to remove the land of the karma and put another water with another emotion. So change the fact. The fact is change the fact, because stop thinking now. Where is the problem? All problems are thought. If I want to change the problem, I have to change the way of thinking. So that's the intellect, the ideal tool. This is the ideal tool to rasa sadhana, which is manage of the motion. Okay, I'm finished the exposition. I want to apologize about my English. I know I'm neither Shakespeare nor Wilde, so Oscar Wilde. So sorry. I hope something has been understood. Thank you very much for the invitation. I hope to see you around in school, Escuela Espacio OM, here in Buenos Aires, Ayurveda. Danjavad, thank you very much.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Dr. Fabian J. Carlotte for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views. Thank you so much.
Project Self, a non-profit organization that stands for empowering humanity with essential life skills for building a strong foundation for lifelong wellness. Our programs help individuals to gain better health, emotional intelligence, and spiritual awareness. Classes include kids yoga, adult yoga, mindfulness meditation, and scriptural studies. Yoga for kids are designed to keep the kids as kids, resilient, focused, and fit. Kid-friendly program focus on their social and emotional well-being.
The ultimate solution prescribed by Krishna is the self-knowledge, because only with the self-knowledge all our sufferings and problems can be removed.
Understanding and learning scriptures will help you lead a life with its full potential. It will help you to find peace, happiness, and contentment in life. Yoga for Adult focus on physical postures that bring balance, flexibility, and body awareness. Carefully crafted program covers different aspects of meditation that bring body-mind relaxation and other powerful benefits, including stress reduction.
Being a part of Project Self for over 5 years has not only given me so many physical benefits from doing yoga, but also many mental benefits from learning about mindfulness, wellness, and how to de-stress.
Pranayama class has helped me learn proper breathing technique, and the meditation class has helped me focus my mind better.
I am learning Vedanta as well as Bhagavad Gita to connect myself to the spiritual world as well as to understand the real meaning of this life.
Abundance in the context of spirituality does not mean any material condition, but appreciating life in its fullness, joyfulness, and strength of body and soul. Let's enjoy the abundance mindset with our learned panelists. Let's have a panel discussion on the topic spirituality and abundance mindset. I'm delighted to welcome our next guest, Eric Mancues, disciple of Shri Muktananda Maharaj, Divine Life Society, India. He is yoga teacher since 1975, professor of yoga of the United Nations Organization, Santiago de Chile, for 40 years, founder of the Chilean Yoga Association, founder and director of Advaita School Chile. It's a school recognized by Yoga Alliance International India. He is also a teacher trainer of teachers and instructors of Purna Yoga from 1990. To invite our next eminent guest, Ms. Aishwarya Devi, who is an experienced dancer, choreographer, the founder of Yoga Dance System, and one of the first yoga teacher in Greece. In 1987, she founded the ballet school in Athens. In 2005, she founded new school in Athens by the name of Raj Yoga Anahata Center of Art, where she continues teaching different kinds of yoga. She has been greatly inspired and spiritually enlightened by the teachings of Paramhansa Satyananda, Master Kao Koksui, Pandit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya, Mataji and others. While being the creator of the yoga dance system, she has been invited to many international festivals. In 2012, she presented her system at the International Yoga Festival in Portugal. In 2013, she presented Yoga, Culture and Spirituality in International Festival from Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya University in Haridwar, India. She has made various presentations and speeches in Greek, television, radio, magazine. Speaking on all the yoga matters, she has worked wholeheartedly for the betterment of our society and the elevation of the human spirit. Nowadays, she is making efforts to transmit the global message of compassion, love, and communication to the whole world, to people who seek to understand their own lives and their inner self, regardless of gender or religion. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aishwarya Devi. Our next guest is Keleahana Silve, who is hula artist and choreographer. She always sought to promote Hawaiian culture abroad. She founded the first Hawaiian dance school in France, Halau Hula o Manau, named after the valley in which she was born. After 30 years in Paris, she returned to Hawaii and continues to teach Haumana in Alaska and China. Through her classes at Kapiolena Hospital Women's Center and the Salvation Army's drug recovery program, she has become a pioneer in the promising new field of hula for health. She also participated in the annual Talk Story Festival in Honolulu and released a CD of Hawaii tales, chants, and music. Today we also have with us Arjuna Gastav Plaza, a renowned yoga and meditation teacher. He started his yoga path at a very early age and has over 30 years of practice and study of yoga. His sharing and presentation of yoga includes various aspects of the tradition such as Hatha Yoga, meditation, pranayam, philosophy, yoga metaphysics, and yoga nidra. He has participated as a presenter and teacher in international yoga events like Bhakti Feast, Joshua Tree, California, USA, Dakini Festival, Yoga General Conference, Moscow. With a steady, firm, yet humorous and kind teaching style, he shares the wisdom and this ancient tradition with everyone. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tobur, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tobur is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He's a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Namaste, friends.
I welcome all of you in this wonderful occasion of panel discussion. We acknowledge presence of Arjuna ji, Kilohana ji, Aishwarya Devi ji, Yogi Eric, and I guess translator with you. Namaste. So, dear friends, we are going to discuss on abundance mindset. So, since this break of Corona and Omicron, it is said that the world is divided all the more in terms of prosperity. People who had more, they got all the more, and poor people became all the more poor. In this divided world on the basis of wealth, how spirituality can contribute. So I will come with the question to Kilohona ji that how spirituality can contribute in changing the mindset of the people who have resources and making them more generous, because majority of the world wealth is being controlled by the few people. So how spirituality can contribute in making people more generous who have it. Over to you, Kilohana ji.
Aloha Kako. And
Aloha.
Alo, thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this very distinguished panel. This is a very important question that you've raised, and I believe that the answer is truly in the different disciplines that your experts here are masters of. And is the art of hula. And you might question, well, how can hula, a native dance, contribute in any way to spirituality and abundance? And it comes back to one word, which we use in the Hawaiian culture, which is aloha. It's often defined as hello, goodbye, I love you. But in fact, if you really study the word and its place in Hawaiian culture, it incorporates so many values. It incorporates spiritual values that acknowledge our connection to each other, that we're all connected. And so, in this sense, we should learn to share. We should learn to be more generous, more giving, to work together instead of as separate individuals in society, start to think more of society as a whole, the planet as a whole, that we are all connected. And the art of hula teaches us this in practice. There are basic steps, discipline that the group of dancers must learn to do together. Everyone must learn to move as one, in fact, breathe together in harmony. And this, simply through movement, as in yoga, it really and truly unites body, mind, spirit, the emotions, creates a harmony within. And when one is feeling harmonious, you begin to unlock all the treasures, the abundance, the spiritual abundance that we all have within us.
Thank you.
And I believe this is the key. If people can find this richness within themselves, then generosity, it becomes natural. Feeling connected to others is natural. And we can begin to imagine life as a society, as a planet, on a more harmonious scale with abundance for all.
Thank you. Beautifully said, Kilohanaji, that aloha is the solution. And she said that even breathing in harmony with specific steps is teaches you how to share, and the harmony of mind, body, and emotions also togetherness. I'll come to Aishwarya Deviji with the question that how Spirituality can contribute in making world more generous. You come from yoga background. We heard from somebody expert of aloha, and now we'll be very
And
happy
now
to
we'll
listen
be
to
very
you.
happy to listen to you.
Namaste. I have been honored, respected Dr. Vikrant, and all the speakers and the panelists with me to take place in this discussion about spirituality. And would you mind to tell me again the question, because I was trying to open my
No
microphone?
worries. How yogic
How
tradition,
yogic
uh,
tradition,
I'm listening my
I'm
voice back.
listening my voice back.
Thank you. So, how yogic tradition can support generating generosity in beings? How yoga or
How
spiritism
yoga
can
or
teach how to be more generous in life?
Uh, through the years of my experience close to my beloved and very sacred gurus, I have been experienced their life, their experiences, their giving in the society the best that yoga can teach for spirituality and help the community of this world, and especially in India. So the first step, I think, in spirituality, as I remember from my gurus, is to wage a battle against all the filth and immorality, sorry for my English, and to defeat it. This process of clear and rectification is called tapa. So I think you know about tapa, literally means to heat up. So in the field of spirituality, the process of heating up refers to searching out with sharp acumen all the unworthiness from external and internal persona that we have, every one of us. So the second step, because you asked me about yoga, it's forward for self-refinement, improvement, yes, and enhancement of the worthiness that we called yoga, because yoga is literally means that we are connect, that we are unite. But unite, I have a question. What with what? So what is united what with what? So yoga means for me that uniting the self with the supreme soul, the parabrahma. So whatever we choose in this life, or we are sadhakas, or we are normal persons, means that we attach oneself to the supreme soul and to attract his powers, favors, and super mental talents one needs to develop and appropriate personal magnetism. A magnet either attract pieces of iron around it, or itself gets pulled towards the largest magnet. Supreme Soul, God, is like a big magnet. By being pulled towards that, this is what we have been taught for yoga. So by being pulled towards him, we can gather within us all the virtuous quality that he has and become really abundance. We create the abundance, because this is his talents, his appearance inside us. So we are coming to be united with the omnipresent. That is everywhere, is all around, and especially is inside us.
Thank you
So
very
for
much,
me,
Ashwini.
yes, yoga it's the united with the high consciousness. So we get everything if we are following this path. Thank you.
So Aishwarya Devi ji said
Aishwarya
that
Devi ji said that
somebody has to switch off the mic. Aishwarya Devi ji said that we need to go up in consciousness and see supreme beyond self. Then automatically abundance and generosity will be an automatic outcome. And second, she said about tapas, heating up your desires, selfish desires, and finally culminating to the selfless ones. I will come to Pandit Arjuna ji. Arjuna ji, along with the question that we are discussing here, one more question that I will be asking you and Eric ji is this. First, I will request you to answer. For the people who have, they should be generous. But at the same time, abundance mindset should be there in the people who don't have. So, have nots for the poors, how can they have abundance mindset? How can they become more self assertive in their life that yes, we are worth of everything? How can they be more confident? So, my question to you is, Pandit Arjuna ji, how people who don't have they get benefited by spiritualism in gaining an abundance mindset? Over to you, Arjuna ji. Please unmute and speak. Yes.
Hari Om, Namaste. Dear Dr. Vikrant and respected guest, thank you for this opportunity to share with all of you and the opportunity to share with so many the wisdom of yoga and the wisdom of spirituality in these challenging times. We also have to remember that we use these words challenging times in this moment, but every year, every decade, we are always in challenging times. We're always in front of challenges all the time. One important aspect of real spirituality is that we gain clarity of our minds and clarity of life for itself. We live in a world with certain values, and values have completely changed from the natural world. There is a saying, an important saying that you can find, and right now it is being said that it was said by Pope Francis, but apparently it's not said by him. But the quote is very important and the message very important. And this says, "The rivers don't drink their own water, trees don't eat their own fruits, the sun does not shine for itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. Life is good when you're happy, but it's much better when others are happy because of you." So in this sense, we see that abundance and generosity is part of life. At this moment, we think we are poor because we don't have a car. We are poor because we don't have a TV. We think we are poor because we don't have access for all these interesting devices as the computer, as the mobile phone. But I say these things don't make you rich. Actually, the things make you poor because we run away from nature. We run away from natural life. We even if we have so much money, we think this is abundance. We think that we are rich. But what about our relationships? What about spending time with your son? What about spending time with your daughter? What about spending time in Mother Nature? As Kilohana would know, and she would know because she's so connected with this beautiful natural life. In my country, in the Amazon jungle, the word nature does not exist. The word nature does not exist. The word is mama, is Pachamama, is mother. We don't have in the Amazon jungle, we don't have the word nature. It doesn't exist. It's mother, it's Pachamama, because it's connected with, because we're not different from it. So
That's amazing.
spirituality and yoga is an active spirituality will bring us back our mindset to understand the abundance in life and understand that we are rich not because we have money or not because we don't have physical material things. No, everyone wants to have certain things, and there are things that we need for life. We need fresh air to breathe. We need to be in the sunlight. We need to have water, and we need to have, of course, food. But all the things nature have given free for us. But now, right now, I'm sorry to say, Dr. Bikrant, right now there's so much greed in the world, so much greed. And as Dr. Vandana Shiva, that you would know from India, has this beautiful book that speaks about the oneness versus the 1%. So it's a very, very small percentage of the rich people of the world controlling the food, controlling the industry, controlling the pharmaceutics, controlling the magazine out of greed, out of greed. And the only way we can change it is going inside and understanding our values of what abundance really means.
Thank you, Arjunaji. So beautifully, he said that we need to learn from nature, and because we are away from nature, maybe this is one of the reason that we are the most intelligent and the least happy species on the planet. So rightly, he said that world has enough for the need of everybody, but for greed, world doesn't have enough for the greed of even a single person, as Mahatma Gandhi said. I'll come to Yogi Eric Ji. Eric Ji, the question remains that abundance mindset, Arjuna Ji said, we should learn from nature. But people who don't have enough resources, how spirituality can help those people to go beyond their limitations and lead a nice life? What is your message to those people? Please.
¿Me escuchan bien?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Bien. Gracias por la invitación.
Thanks for the invitation.
La espiritualidad es la condición del ser que nosotros, de todos nosotros, y tener una mentalidad de abundancia es deseable para todas las personas.
Spirituality is the condition of being of all of us, and having an abundant mindset is desirable in all people.
El Espíritu de Dios se manifiesta como universo y mundo.
The Spirit of God, when manifested as the universe and the world,
Es la abundancia misma.
is abundant itself.
Podemos ver que la naturaleza del Espíritu crea, recrea galaxias, planetas, océanos, montañas, bosques, frutos, plantas, flores y seres vivos por doquier. Y aunque después de vivir un tiempo perecen, vuelven a nacer constantemente, pues la madre naturaleza es la abundancia.
We can see that nature of the Spirit creating and recreating galaxies, planets, oceans, mountains, forests, plants, fruits, flowers, and living beings everywhere. And although they perish after living for some time, they are constantly reborn, because Mother Nature is abundance.
El espíritu que nos anima y la mente con la cual vemos el mundo y nos vemos en él son la manifestación de la abundancia divina.
The spirit that animates us and the mind with which we see the world and see ourselves in the world are the manifestation of divine abundance.
En la sociedad que vivimos, cultivar una mente de abundancia es altamente deseable en toda persona. Para esto es necesario tener una dignidad de ser que provee de autoestima, y esto es una combinación de temperamento y aprendizaje.
In the society we live in, to cultivate an abundance mindset is highly desirable in every person. In order to do this, it is necessary to have a dignity of being, which provides self-esteem, and this mentally is a combination of character and learning.
Hay lugares de nuestro mundo en el cual los pueblos y naciones viven en la miseria por siglos. Entonces a las personas les es difícil a través del aprendizaje cultivar una mente abundante. Necesitan la fuerza de su temperamento para asumir su dignidad de ser y su autoestima que le permita la esperanza de una vida más próspera.
There are places in our world where people and nations have lived in misery for centuries, making it very difficult for these people to cultivate an abundant mind through learning. They need the strength of their own character to assume their dignity of being and self-esteem that allows them the hope of a more blissful life.
Una mentalidad abundante es una mentalidad orientada a la prosperidad que no solo se refiere a poseer bienes materiales, sino en poseer un horizonte en que el ser que somos, la existencia que tenemos, esté orientada a la dicha, que es la manifestación del Espíritu Divino. Eso es Sat Chit Ananda.
An abundant mindset is a mentality oriented towards prosperity, which not only refers to possessing material goods, but also in having an horizon in which the being that we are, the existence that we have, is oriented to the bliss that is the manifestation of the divine spirit. That is Sat Chit Ananda.
La Madre Veda sugiere a todos sus hijos, todos nosotros, lo primero por la mañana es la comunión con el Espíritu. Abre tu puerta y permite ver a Dios, cuídalo, vístelo, aliméntalo. Los cuidados que tengas contigo mismo, la ropa que vistes y el alimento que comes, será prasad, una ofrenda a Dios. Así también lo serán tus pensamientos, palabras y tus acciones, una ofrenda cotidiana al Espíritu Divino que tú eres.
Mother Veda suggests to her children, all of us, that the first thing in the morning is the communion with the Divine Spirit. Open the door that allows you to see God, take care of Him, dress Him, and feed Him. The care you give to yourself, the clothes you wear, and the food you eat will be prasad, an offering to God. So will be your thoughts, your words, and your actions, a daily offering to the Divine Spirit that you are.
Thank
La
you.
Madre Veda. Sí.
Yes. Thank you, Eric G. And Eric G mentioned this, that realizing our true nature, that is Sat Chit Anand, connecting with the divine, may help those people who do not have enough to lead a life with character and dignity. Now I will come to Kilohana ji again to add on what Eric G said. I don't have enough resources. How can I feel that happiness is my true nature? How can I feel this? And how can you make me feel that these material things are not important, where I day to day life I struggle with it and I feel scarcity of things?
I think once again, the key is within and without our connection to nature. We speak of mother instead of the word nature in the Amazon, but in English we also say Mother Nature. In hula, all of our gestures, all of our body movements, even the way we chant and use our voice seeks to imitate nature. We seek to create the beautiful rainfall, the movement of the waves in the ocean, the way clouds move in the sky, the way trees move in the wind. And this is something that is available for all of us. We all have this abundance and richness around us. And we can be enriched in our spirits and inspired by just opening our eyes, taking a moment to breathe, and feeling our true connection to the earth, to this planet. That's the true richness in life, not a bank account.
Thank you. Kilohana ji said that all vital things in life are free. As Gustavo ji also mentioned earlier, that breath, fresh air, water, connect with nature, and you will realize that whatever is vital is already given to you, and rest, everything is greed, and that you can run till infinity, and there is no end to it. Beautifully, you mentioned Ashwarya Devi ji, last time you were talking about tapas, that if a person does lots of tapas, he can change his destiny even. So, how a person who do not have enough resources, what kind of tapas will you suggest to him? What kind of ways he can realize, yes, I can do it. Yes, I am a part of that supreme being. You may need to unmute Ashwarya ji and please speak.
For the poor people, Dr. Vikrant, mindset is difficult to understand. Highly resources of high consciousness, but in the heart, in the anahata, through love and devotion, and through the practices like karma yoga, like if we are helping, they understand. If we are acting with love and helping hand by hand, then the knowledge of what is God, what this is supreme, becomes practical. That God is here. How is God here? Because I can serve you. I can respond to your poorness, to your troubles, to your life, that you need a hand or a mindset to understand where is God, where is the omnipresent. Because theoretically, we can say that God is everywhere inside us, but the poor must work and have food. So for life, for living, everyday living, we need the practical way to show God in between us. And this is compassion, love, and help with small, maybe steps. But this is what we need to show. We don't want to show the super knowledge or the super deities or deeds, or the yagyas. Slowly, we are going to this path. But the beginning, we need clothes, food, and like small pension, like Satyananda he did to all his villages, that they were not people that they went to the school, but the poor, like old people and young children, they get food, they get stuff for clothing, and they get a school to learn. And the older men, they have pension, a little small money every month. So they were so happy. This is God among us. This is omnipresent of our, and this is also the teachings of our gurus. So for me, this is the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautifully said, Ashwarya ji. She said that tapas means karma yoga. Give your 100% whatever you do and open your heart for everybody. Love, compassion, and help is what we call as God. This is what is divine. And anybody at any position can have compassion and love for others. It does not need abundance in your treasury or bank account. It needs abundance in your mindset, she said. And she said that you may be poor in resources, but you should never be poor in your mindset. Thank you. So, Arjuna ji, along with this question, as you last time mentioned about the greed. So, the point here is it is said that people, when go on the spiritual journey, they don't strive hard. And if such people won't strive hard, then the development of the world will stop. So spiritualism makes you dull, makes you slow. You don't want to put efforts. What's your take on that? Please unmute and answer.
Sorry. I believe that that's a very, very misunderstanding of real spiritual teaching. As Aishwarya Devi was mentioning, like Satyananda and so many other masters, so many other gurus, they have worked for humanity. They have served humanity. There's not one single ashram in India that has not one type of service, giving food to the poor people, having schools for children, having schools for children with no parents, orphanages. You know, like Ramakrishna Mission. You know, Ramakrishna Mission, as said by Vivekananda and by all the masters of the tradition of Ramakrishna, they have invested so much in working for the poor people in India. When Vivekananda in 1893 came to the World Parliament of Religions, in one of his discourses, in one of his lectures, he said, and he was obviously passionate about it, India has enough religions. So Christians, Jews, everyone that is coming, bringing religion to India, India has enough religion at this moment. India needs bread. India needs food. So if you're going to help, don't bring your religions. Bring real help. Bring food that people need. Bring medicine that people need. And he was quoted, as you know, the lion of Bengal, the lion of Bengal, because he roared in this parliament of religion with the light of truth. And in this way, it's always important to know that in order to have a world of abundance, we need leaders. We need leaders that are working for the welfare of humanity, for the welfare of others, and for teaching others. Of course, it's very difficult to a person, as Ishwaraji was mentioning. It's very difficult to a person that is poor, that is thinking and feeling with an empty stomach to think about God. It's difficult. It's very difficult. So in this sense, if we are talking about generosity, if we need to change something in humanity, we need to change the leaders and change education, invest on education, invest on developing real spirituality, because spirituality, honest spirituality, doesn't make you dull, doesn't make you lazy, because spirituality is hard work. It's hard work to change yourself.
Thank you.
But if you change yourself, you're giving service to others. And that's the example we have received from all the great masters like Paramahansa Yogananda, Shivananda, Satyananda, all the real great gurus have made some type of investment in society to help.
Thank you. Thank you. Arjunaji said that spirituality makes you not dull but dynamic. And all great leaders, they did not only take care of themselves, but thousands of others. They fed many people. So it makes you more dynamic rather dull. I'll come to Eric G with that question. That a world full of abundance, how spirituality can contribute in this post-COVID, post-Omicron, keeping fingers crossed world, how spirituality can contribute in creating a world of abundance post-COVID.
Es un gran desafío,
It is a great challenge,
un imperativo moral
and moral imperative
que nos puso en nuestra tradición Gurú Shivananda.
that in our tradition was put by Guru Shivananda.
Dice, sirve, ama, da, purifícate, medita, realízate.
He said, serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize.
Para eso, trabajo y silencio.
In order to do that is work and silence
Diariamente.
every day,
Sábados y domingos,
Saturdays and Sundays,
fiestas patrias,
the
fiestas nacionales,
national celebrations,
Pascuas, Año Nuevos,
Christmas, New Year's,
todos los días,
every day,
en cada pensamiento, palabra y obra.
in every thought, in every word, and in every action.
Como la abundancia, así como todas las cosas del mundo,
Abundance, just like everything else in the world,
dependen de causas y condiciones.
depends on causes and conditions.
Hay que mejorar las causas y las condiciones
You have to improve causes and conditions
en el corazón de cada uno.
in the heart of each one.
Por eso es, sirve, ama, da, purifícate, medita, realízate.
That's why you have to serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize.
Porque en la felicidad del otro, prosperidad del otro,
Because in the happiness and prosperity of the other one
está nuestra propia felicidad.
is our own happiness.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Eric G. Now, in the last, I will request all our guests for one line of inspiration from any of the scripture, any of the tradition that you can think of praying for this post-COVID world for abundance. So I will come one after another on everybody. One line, any mantra, but it should be only one-liner or two-liner mantra, not big one. Whatever comes to your mind, just to convey the blessings and to this whole world from the scriptures or from the masters or from the nature. Kilohana ji, any one or two lines of mantra or prayer for the world prosperity.
I will give you something very short and sweet, very compact. Aloha Pau'ole, which means love never dies.
Wow.
Love, this abundance, this richness, this graciousness, this generosity, this spirituality that we all have within us is always there.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ashwarya Devi ji, one line.
One line. Yes, okay, everybody, all the hands, and we are blessing the world, the countries, the all poor people with the mantra Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Shantu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashidukha Bhakbhavet. All together. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. May everybody be blessed with health, love, and no sickness, no COVID, and be blessed, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very Ashwarya ji. Pandit Arjuna ji, any mantra or anything. Ashwarya Devi ji, you may need to switch off the mic. Thank you. Yes. Please unmute Pandit ji and speak.
Well, just to remember, this mantra is so important as the mantra Ashwarya Devi was just sharing. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisyate Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. So may this mantra remember that everything is full, that we are full, that life is full, that we are abundant.
Thank you. Over to you, Eric ji. Any mantra, two-liner for the audience and world prosperity.
¿Ese es para mí? Sí. Que todos los seres que sienten,
That every
que todos seres que sienten,
and every living being
sean sanos,
be healthy,
prósperos
prosperous,
y felices.
and happy.
Om.
Thank you very much, all of you respected guests and dear friends from watching us from world different parts. We had our guest Kilohana ji said that aloha is the way. It means I love you, and it also means that the spiritual values that it has, that breathing in harmony, body, mind, emotions to be harmonized with the nature, and key is the mother nature. Move with the nature, breath, air, water, everybody, whatever is vital is free of cost. And this is what she meant abundance is. Aishwarya Rai ji said that we need to, in order to have abundant mindset, one, you need to do tapas and realize, connect self with the supreme. You may be poor in resources, but you may be poor in money, but you should never be poor in mindset. And start doing karma yoga, an open mindset, and a mind which is open to love, help, and compassion. And when you say love, help, and compassion, this is what is called God. Eric G said that you see from nature, it perishes, processes, and again prospers. Mother nature and the spirit from which we are made of, it teaches us to live life with character and dignity, have self-esteem, and in one line you can call it Satchit Anand, bliss that we are. And how to realize that? He says, do 5 things: serve, love, give, meditate, and you realize it. Work in silence, and then celebrate life. We had Pandit Arjunaji. He beautifully said that mother is mama nature, and rivers, flowers, and trees, they teach us that they never consume what they produce. It is the nature of life, and going back to the nature, emotional, material problems never have emotional problems never have material solutions in it. World has enough for everybody's need, but not for greed. And he said that spirituality is a solution, and which does not make you dull, it makes you dynamic, like Swami Vivekananda and many all. So let's get educated in spiritualism like Paramahansa, Shivananda, and many of likes. So dear friends, our blessings and our prayers to whole world. Thank you very much, respected guests, to be here with us. Thank you. Namaste.
Life seems to go on without effort when I'm filled with music. Saying by George Eliot, the great English poet and novelist. It's a fact that music can make us feel uplifted, contented, and it can improve our state of well-being. That is why music is a vital part of Happiness Day celebration. Now, let us listen to a powerful song that played a pivotal role in India's independence movement. Vande Mataram. The title Vande Mataram means, I praise to thee, Mother. This song was adopted on January 24, 1950, by providing it equal status with national anthem Jana Gan Man. This song has been set to a large number of tunes. Project Self's own singer, K.I. Alexander, is singing this inspiring song for us in Rag Desh. She, Alexander, is trained classical musician and the founder and director of Sadhaka School of Music in New York.
പൊൻതൂവലെല്ലാമൊതുക്കി ഒരു നൊമ്പരം നെഞ്ചിൽ പിടഞ്ഞു പൊൻതൂവലെല്ലാമൊതുക്കി ഒരു നൊമ്പരം നെഞ്ചിൽ പിടഞ്ഞു സ്നേഹം തഴുകി തഴുകി വിടർത്തിയ മോഹത്തിൻ പൂക്കളുലഞ്ഞു എന്റെ മൺവീണയിൽ കൂടണയാനൊരു മൗനം പറന്നു പറന്നു വന്നു പാടാൻ മറന്നൊരു പാട്ടിലെത്തേൻ കണം പാറി പറന്നു വന്നു. പൂവിൻ ചൊടിയിലും മൗനം ഭൂമി ദേവി തന്നാത്മാവിൽ മൗനം. പൂവിൻ ചൊടിയിലും മൗനം ഭൂമി ദേവി തന്നാത്മാവിൽ മൗനം. വിണ്ണിന്റെ കണ്ണുനീർ തുള്ളിയിലും കൊച്ചുമൺതരിച്ചുണ്ടിലും മൗനം. എന്റെ മൺവീണയിൽ കൂടണയാനൊരു മൗനം പറന്നു പറന്നു വന്നു പാടാൻ മറന്നൊരു പാട്ടിലെത്തേൻ കണം പാറി പറന്നു വന്നു. എന്റെ മൺവീണയിൽ കൂടണയാനൊരു മൗനം പറന്നു പറന്നു വന്നു പാടാൻ മറന്നൊരു പാട്ടിലെത്തേൻ കണം പാറി പറന്നു വന്നു പാറി പറന്നു വന്നു.
Thank Alexander for wonderful and melodious musical performance. Thank you so much, Alexander Ji. I feel delighted to welcome Ms. Gina Suresh from USA. Gina got inspired by her grandfather and father in yoga asana practices 20 years ago. With the intention of spreading the goodness of yoga with others, she did the yoga teachers training from Pandit Radhesham Mishra Ji. Her association with Project Self USA spiked her interest in Bhagavad Gita and Vedantic studies. Now she incorporates the teaching of Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga in Yoga Sadhana program conducted by Project Self USA. Professionally, she is working in a pharmaceutical company as a director of field force effectiveness. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Gina Suresh from USA.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
in the degree of concentration. So, meditation helps you improve the
Our next performance is hula dance from Hawaii Islands. It is the storytelling dance paired with chants or contemporary music, slow and sentimental in tempo or fast and energetic. Hula animates history in genealogy, prophecy, and the tales of those who came before. Our performance, Gail Elema Roberts, is a well-known Italian hula dancer. She leads the Italian branch of the International Hula School. She has been following the teachings of ancient and modern hula from her master, Kelly Johanna, for 23 years. Gail Elema remains actively involved in the Paris branch of school, continuing to study and make presentations with them in France, Hawaii, and abroad. In 2007, Gail Elema received the consent from a hula master to teach authentic Hawaii hula in Italy. Gail Elema Roberts is the only teacher in Italy with the consent from her master. So please applaud for Gail Elema Roberts for her performance.
Aloha and welcome to the United Consciousness Conclave 2021-2022. Our traditional Hawaiian dance school, Halau Hula o Manoa Italia, is delighted to participate with a performance honoring Poliahu, the Hawaiian snow goddess, atop the sacred mountain Mauna Kea.
We thank Ms. Galia Elema Roberts for her beautiful performance of hula dance. Thank you so much, Gail Elema.
Namaste, everyone. Apologies for the light interruption earlier. Namaste to all fellow spiritual seekers. My gratitude to Vikramji and Rajeshji for giving me this opportunity to present the meditation at the United Consciousness Conclave 2021. My utmost respect to my parents, especially my father, for showing me the path of spirituality through yoga. Almost all of you know the meditation is the process of training our mind. Training our mind for what purpose? Training our mind to prepare our body, our mind, for the highest spiritual goal of moksha or enlightenment, the process through which we can remove all, we can receive the freedom from all our sufferings. However, we know that almost for many of us, this goal is a very big stretch goal. So then why do we do meditation? Whether your goal is spiritual or secular, there are so many benefits for doing meditation. Swami Vivekananda once said that the difference between an ordinary person and a great person lies in the degree of concentration. So even if your interest is not spiritual, you will gain a lot of benefits, including concentration by meditation. Meditation also reduces your stress, anxiety, depression. It increases your, improve the sleep quality, and there's so many benefits to body and mind that meditation is offering. The regular meditators often has insight to their own personality through which they can actually remove or change the past conditioning which is contradicting to or which is helping their life move forward in a better way. And also you can see that the meditation will bring a mental stability, because of which there's enormous benefit at work as well as for interpersonal relationship. So you can see that even if the goal is not spiritual, meditation has other secular benefits. But the only one thing is that you have to do the practice every single day. And it is a learned skill. So if you do this practice on a regular basis, you can reap the benefit that we just talked about. John Yates, the author of the book Mind Illumined, says this in a funny way. Awakening or moksha is an accident, and by regular practice, you can make yourself accident prone. Now, meditation is actually a process of focusing on one object, what we call as object of meditation. Now, almost everybody will have, once we start focusing on this object, an object can be anything. Today's object will be the breathing. We will focus on breathing and its changes that it brings to our chest, rising and falling of chest with inhalation and exhalation. But we know that within seconds, our focus will move away from that object of meditation and our mind start wandering. And it is not by willpower that we will keep our mind stay on this object of meditation. So I want to focus today's meditation session on one important element called intention. Almost everything that we do starts with an intention. For example, let's think of catching a ball, play catch, right? First, we intend to play catch. At first, when you start playing, you will not be able to catch it because the hand-eye coordination is not great, your body is not following your intention to play the catch, and all that things happens. But on a regular, with that intention, the strong intention, and with the regular practice, you will eventually start playing a catch. So you make that intention and your body, the hand, eye, everything follows. Similarly, in meditation, you will make a strong intention and your mind follows. So in today's practice, we want to do a few intentions. And what are those intentions? We already mentioned that just by willpower, we cannot force us not forgetting about the object of meditation. And also by forcing the mind, by willpower or forcing the mind, we cannot come back or remembering the object of meditation either. So the intention that we will do in today's session is by appreciating those moments when we recognize that our mind has deviated from the object of meditation. And then forcefully or intentionally bringing it back to the object of meditation, and also intend to stay with that breath for even longer. So with that intention, we will, on a repeated basis, the frequency of this mind wandering will be reduced, and also the duration of the mind wandering will be reduced. Now, with that introduction, we can start with the meditation. We will follow a series of preparation steps, and then we will make the intention. We will follow the object of meditation, which is breathing and its movement in our chest. So let's get ready. So you all want to sit tall with your head, neck, and trunk in a straight line. Keep your hands in chin mudra on your knee. If you're sitting on a chair, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're able to sit the next 10 minutes somewhere where your body is not moving, where you can focus completely. Close your eyes. Just settle into your body, settle into with your mind, settle with your breathing. First, bring an intention of gratitude to your mind, an attitude of gratitude for all the things that you have so far, and also for this very moment that you are practicing meditation. Now, we will do a body relaxation. Focus on your toes of both the legs and relax. Focus on the ankle, relax. Focus the shin, the calf muscles, your knee, your thigh, your seat. Feel the entire body weight from the forehead to the buttocks. All your body weight is transferred to the ground through your seat, and relax your seat. Relax your lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your tummy, relax your chest. Relax your hand, right hand, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, all your fingers of your right hand. Now left hand, your upper arm, elbow, lower hand, and all your fingers. Relax your neck region. Relax the back of your head, sides of your head. Relax your chin, the lips, the mouth. Relax your nose. Relax your eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows, the space between the eyebrows. And relax your forehead. Finally, relax the crown of your head. You are completely relaxed from tip of your toes to the crown of your head. Completely settle into that body. Completely settle with your mind. Now, gently make your intentions. Very simple practice, but very powerful practice. Your intention for today's practice is to appreciate the moment when you recognize that your mind has wandered and you intend to bring it back to the object of meditation, which is focusing on your breathing, and you intend to stay longer with your breathing, focusing on your breathing. With that intention, now bring your attention to your breathing. You're inhaling, you are exhaling. Feel the movement of the chest rising with the inhalation and chest falling with the exhalation. Provide a few moments with that object of meditation. You're completely focusing on your breathing and its movements in your chest region. And if your mind is wandering, the moment you recognize that, appreciate that moment and slowly bring it back to the object of meditation. And once again, intend to stay there for longer. Object of meditation, the breathing. Continue with the focus on your breath in your chest region. And the moment your mind wanders, just focus on it. Appreciate that moment that your mind did recognize that moment. And gently bring it back to focusing on your breathing again. It doesn't matter how many times the mind, just focus on that moment, appreciate that moment, and then bring again your attention back to the object of meditation, which is focusing on the breathing and its movement in the chest region. give a few more moments. Continue to focus on the object of meditation. And now, slowly remove all your efforts to focus on the object of meditation. Slowly bring your attention back to your body. Start wiggling your toes and fingers. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you once again for United Consciousness for this opportunity, and I want to wish you all peace, happiness, and contentment. Thank you.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Ms. Gina Suresh for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness. Thank you so much.
Namaste, everyone. My name is Prasad Akabur. I'm one of the founding members of Project Self. The people from all over the world, they have been watching this and they're learning. In fact, this was such an amazing, albeit short, spiritual journey that we all made together. I cannot thank you enough, all the speakers, starting from Swami Sarvapriyananda, who talked about consciousness, how consciousness is constant and how it eliminates the world that we see. Then we had Avanit, a dear friend of mine. She did an amazing job with the physical postures, asanas. And Dr. Fabian Ciarlotti, he talked about karma pariksha, and the two pillars that he emphasized, the prana and the buddhi. In order to solve our problems, we need to change the way we think. I hope all of you got a lot out of this. In fact, I was thinking, we can really listen to all these speakers, all these great masters, 4 hours, but still we wouldn't learn enough. And then, of course, this wonderful panel in which 4 eminent speakers, acharyas, spoke. Pandit Arjuna, Kilohana Silve, Eric Manquez, and Aishwarya Devi. And one thing that Kilohana Silve said, stuck in my mind, aloha is way more than hi, hello, how are you? Sort of reminded me of namaste. Namaste is way more than hi and how are you? So, for example, Pandit Arjuna, he emphasized the need to learn from nature. We're the most intelligent people, but the least happy. So how can we actually tap into nature so that we can all lead a happy life? That was an amazing presentation. Again, as I said before, we can learn from these people so much with the limited time. We only got a snippet of their wisdom. And Eric Manquez talked about Satchidananda, and then Aishwarya Devi talked about karma yoga, tapas. These are all essential tools at our disposal. They're all available for free. Anyone can have access to these things. So thank you so much for enlightening us. Of course, now, last but not least, one of the emphasis, one of the points that they emphasized was the need to do social work. like Arjunji mentioned that all ashrams in India, they have a social component to it. Unless you feed the poor, you cannot live a life of abundance. Abundance is not a hefty balance, Kilohana said. What an amazing piece of wisdom. It has to do with how you treat other people, compassion and love. Again, we are eternally grateful to you all for doing that. And I want to thank the presenters of the hula dance too. I kind of remember what Kilohana said. Well, in words and action, we kind of invoke Mother Nature. When I watched the dance, I was absolutely thrilled, and she was absolutely right. And what can I say about our own dear friend Gina Suresh? She was amazing in presenting the essence of yoga and meditation. It's the goal, the ultimate goal of every seeker is moksha, and there are different ways of getting there. But there's one thing that's essential. That is the unity of ourselves with the eternal soul. And there are techniques that are available, and Gina did a wonderful job. Thank you again. And what can I say about my dear friend, Dr. Vikranji? He basically summarized everything so succinctly after every speaker spoke. I don't know how he does it, but thank you, Vikranji, for this. And with that, I think we are concluding this section. And please continue to watch our programs and learn. And if you have any questions, please get in touch with either Project Self or United Consciousness. Vikranji will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And with that, namaste. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
This shloka means, may everyone be happy, may everyone be free from all diseases, may everyone see goodness and auspiciousness in everything, may none be unhappy or distressed. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. I am highly privileged to have this opportunity to present my gratitude to all those who have witnessed and blessed this event directly or indirectly. I believe that this is not the end, but the beginning of our journeys. The journeys towards the noble cause of removing the 14 divides rooted in human race and promoting harmonious and peaceful coexistence. Firstly, I thank the God for blessing us all in this conclave to take our first step towards the noble mission. I thank European Yoga Federation, Swami Suryananda Saraswati Ji, Ms. Amy Blesio, Ms. Emilia, Sarah, Danielia, Christine, and also thank the Spiritual Council in Africa. I owe my heartfelt thanks to Swami Sarvapriyananda Ji, and I am very thankful to Dr. Fabian Carlote, Mr. Gustav Plaza, Ms. Aishwarya Devi, Ms. Keliohana Silve, Yogi Eric Mancus, Ms. Ennead Bad, Ms. Gail Elemia Robert, Mr. Alexander, Ms. Gina Suresh, and Play for Change musical group. I owe my heartfelt thanks to Team Project Self USA, Shri Rajesh Rabindranath, Ms. Pavitra Srinivasan, Ms. Madhurika Arvind, Ms. Rashmi Kashi, Dr. Prasad Akavu, Dr. Vijay Reddy, Ms. Gina Suresh, Mr. Karthik Palamalai, Mr. K.L. Alexander, Mr. Venkat Sriram Lalu, Ms. Deepthi Nair, Ms. Avneet Bad, Mr. Suresh, Mr. Devaraju, Ms. Deepa Arun. I thank Team Project Self Bharat, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, Dr. Shweta Tomar, Aditi Meghna Mausan Prachi, Mr. J.S. Juneja, Dr. Paramji Juneja, Rishi Vishalji Arnav, Aditya Ashwin, Rati Dharmendra Ji Uday, Pooja Ji, Bharti Ji, Dipti Ji, Amrish Ji, Mrinalini Ji, Khushbu Ji, Jimmy Ji, Mr. Sanjay Rajput, Ms. Simran Reel. I also thank two new members of Project Self India, Ms. Maria Lightwala and Ms. Simran Raghavani. I'm very much thankful to our wonderful audience and all the visible and invisible sources blessing us.